Hey guys, Stephanie with AmericanMuscle.com here with the Whiteline Adjustable Panhard Bar for all 2005 to 2014 Mustangs. This Panhard Bar is going to be a good option for the 05 to 14 owners out there that have lowered their cars and are looking for the benefits of a Panhard Bar. In general, Panhard Bars are a great suspension mod that can offer a lot of benefits, and as such, they tend to be one of the first suspension mods that owners tackle. There are a lot of options when it comes to Panhard bars, and you're gonna want to choose which type you go with based off of your car and what you plan on doing with it. An aftermarket Panhard bar like this one is designed to keep the axle from moving. So the control arms control the front and back movement, but it's the Panhard bar that controls the side-to-side movement. You obviously want to keep the rear centered under the car at all times, especially in a performance situation. If you can keep the rear centered, you have a much better chance of getting traction and reducing wheel hop. The S197 does have a Panhard bar from factory, but the stock components are weak and they're still designed for comfort, so they allow for a lot of twisting and a lot of movement, which doesn't help traction. The other thing you have to consider is when you lower your car, you change the geometry of the suspension. Whiteline's Panhard bar is adjustable for that reason. You can adjust the length of the bar so you can tune it into where you need it to be. There isn't one set rule when you start messing with suspension, so I can't tell you that such and such spring will toss the rear out to the right an inch and a half. It's different for each car and each setup, so an adjustable Panhard bar like this one lets you dial things in as you need to. And once you get to the install, you can actually see the bar pulling the rear back centered under the car as you adjust it. The rear doesn't just become uncentered when you lower the car, but it also happens when you're cornering. There's a lot of chassis flex that happens with the stock suspension components, so the flex that happens when you're cornering causes some uncentering as well. This bar is on-car adjustable too, so you don't have to remove it to adjust it. You can do it installed right on the car as you need it. And this isn't to say that you shouldn't run an adjustable Panhard bar if your car isn't lowered, but you really should consider an adjustable bar if you are lowered. This Panhard bar will work for both street and track application, and it's got a tubular steel design, so it has all of the strength and rigidity of a solid piece, but not all of the weight. It's also powder coated silver, which will give a little bit of corrosion resistance. Now these are forged rod ends, and they have MaxSeek dual durometer bushings in them. The forged rod ends allow for maximum articulation, strength, and durability of the bushings. If we get technical here, the MaxSeek bushings are a synthetic elastomer with a non-bonded bushing design. The non-bonded design allows the inner reinforcement sleeve to redistribute load throughout the bushing and the bearing. Now this gives the bushing the freedom that I mentioned earlier, but it's still a setup that's going to reduce deflection a lot when you compare it to the stock setup. Bushings have a big effect on ride quality and NVH, and a lot of times choosing a suspension setup comes back to finding the perfect combo that'll stiffen up the rear and stop unwanted movement enough to improve traction and handling, but not so much that you hate driving the car. One thing to keep in mind though, and I say this for every Panhard bar regardless of brand or construction, is that while a Panhard bar can and will make a difference by itself, it definitely pairs well with other suspension mods. It'll help with traction and handling by itself, but keep in mind that there isn't just one part that'll fix all traction and handling issues, but a good combination of upgrades can totally change the Mustang's performance. When it comes to price, you can expect to spend right in between $100 and $150 for this adjustable bar from Whiteline. This is one of the more budget-friendly options, especially for an adjustable bar. If you're not worried about NVH, there are some more radical choices that are available. One's not necessarily better than the other at face value. It all depends on what you're building and what you're building for. They have different features that'll give different performances. The install for this Panhard bar does require a little bit of knowledge, but overall it's not difficult, and I'm gonna call it a solid 1 out of 3 wrenches on the difficulty meter, but mostly just because of the adjustment process. It'll take about 2 hours to complete, and if you tackle the install yourself, you need a few different sockets and wrenches, and a way to get the car in the air so you can work under the rear. There are covers covering the factory Panhard bar bolts, but they're easy to remove. The factory bar is held in by 2 bolts, but you will need to loosen the Panhard bar support brace in order to get the bar out. And since it is an adjustable bar, you want to make sure that it's the same length as the factory bar before installing. This gives you a good starting point for the adjustment. The actual install of the new bar will be the same as the removal of the factory bar. Once the bar is installed, it'll need to be adjusted. The Panhard bar is adjusted by twisting the bar to adjust the body of the car over the axle. You can accomplish this by measuring each side after you adjust the bar, and there are a few different ways that you can do this, but just remember that the rear should be under load while you're adjusting. And if not, you'll have to start the process all over. Once everything is adjusted, all you have to do is lock everything into place. Wrapping things up here, the Whiteline Panhard bar has a tubular steel construction, and it's on-car adjustable with grease-free MaxSeek bushings and forged rod ends. It's a great option for lowered cars, and it'll work to improve traction and handling, especially in corners, therefore tightening up the rear end. You can check it out more online, along with all of your other rear suspension options, right here at AmericanMuscle.com.